Hello and welcome to class number 2 in our series for transitioning from winter to spring. For today's class, we're going to focus on the digestive system. And for today's class, you may need, these are all optional props, but if you have them handy, go ahead and grab them just in case. You may need a strap, you may need a block, and you may need a blanket if you like to sit up on something to bring your seat up. So have that handy if you know that you're going to need those things. Today's quote is, "The process of becoming unstuck requires tremendous bravery," because basically we are completely changing our way of perceiving reality, and that's by Pema Chodron. So we'll get started right away. If you have the blanket and you'd like to bring up your seat, sit up on the blanket, I'll show the side here real quick how you can use that. So you can come up on the blanket and you can have it folded however thick you would like. And what you want to do in this case is you want to sit on the edge of your blanket. So what it's really helping you do is just to tilt your pelvis forward. So if you find that you're really rounded in a lot of poses, sit in a blanket underneath your seat. Anytime in the class I say to do that, this is what this is to help you with. So you're not doing this as much, and you're sitting on the edge of your blanket, and it'll help you tilt your pelvis forward. So I will use that today just to show you. So we'll go ahead and come up, either seated on a blanket or seated cross-legged, normal on your mat. From here, stretch up. Bring your right arm out to the side, and now bring your left arm up overhead and stretch over to your right, keeping the left hip grounded into the mat. You'll feel a nice opening here on the side body. So breathe here, a few deep breaths in and out through your nose. And today we're going to focus on the digestive system, because during the winter, one thing that can happen to us is our digestion can become sluggish. And so as we're starting to open back up into spring mode and things are going to start popping back up and coming back alive, you want to help stoke that internal fire. One more deep breath here. Exhale and come back up. We'll switch to the other side. Bring the left arm out to the side and stretch that right arm up overhead. So again, keeping that right hip grounded into the mat or your blanket, opening up that right side body. So today we're going to work on stoking that internal fire to help maybe boost your metabolism, help boost any sluggish digestion you have going on, and just help kind of wake us up for upcoming spring, because here it's a little bit warmer. It's starting to warm up a bit. Still have some cold temperatures. So take some more deep breaths here, and that will be our focus for today. Come all the way back up. And now from here, go ahead and switch across of your legs, and we're just going to do a simple seated twist. So from here, left hand to your right knee, right arm behind you, and just twist over to your right. And while you're here, try to focus on doing a nice deep belly breath. So try to bring that breath all the way into your belly, or at least deeper into your chest, or into your rib cage than just your upper chest. So take a nice deep inhale, fill up the belly and the ribs and the chest, and then exhale and let that go. Do another one like that. Inhale nice and deep into the belly, and exhale and let go. So we introduced this last time, but you're trying to fill up the belly, the ribs, and the chest instead of just breathing in your chest, which is what most of us do all the time. From here, right hand to your left knee, left arm behind you, and twist over to your left and do the same thing. Try to do that 3-part breathing the best you can. If you're new to this, it may take a little bit, so breathe in as deep as you can, filling up your stomach, your ribs, and your chest. And exhale, let that go. And one more breath just like that. Exhale and let that go, and come back to center. From here, I'm going to go ahead and leave the blanket here, because I want to show that modification for those of you that it would really be helpful to have your seat up more. Bring your feet out in front of you, the soles of your feet together into a bound angle pose. And again, you can see how much this is helping to tilt my pelvis forward. So if you've really been finding yourself tucked and rounded like this, you may find a big difference. And if you need to sit up on more than one blanket, do that. It'll help you tilt forward. Inhale, get tall, and exhale, fold forward any amount, hinging at your hips, coming up out of your hips, or stay more upright. And breathe here. And again, try for that deep belly breath. So draw the breath into your stomach, into your ribs, and into your chest. And then exhale it all back out. That's also going to help stoke that internal fire in your digestive tract and area. Come all the way back up. Now from here, we're going to come into a wide-legged seated forward fold. So go ahead and bring your legs out wide on the mat, and whatever that means for you. So you might be more like here. That's fine. Bring it where you're at. It's still early on, so you might stay a little tighter, so you can bring the legs in closer if you need to. Sit up nice and tall and stay here if you're really rounded. If you feel that you're able to bend forward, go ahead and bend forward any amount, coming forward. Bring your hands in front of you on the ground, and breathing here again, trying to go for that 3-part breath. Breathe in deep into your belly, your ribs, and your chest. And let it go. 2 more breaths, just like that on your own. Inhale. And 1 more on your own. Very much like some people like to spring clean their house. We're spring cleaning our body and getting it ready for warmer weather. Come on, back up. Now we're going to come to all fours and do a few cat-cows. You can get rid of the blanket. Come to all fours. And inhale, arch your lower back and look up. And exhale, round. Curl your chin in. Inhale, look up. And exhale, round your back and curl your chin in. Look inside. 2 more. Inhale, look up. And exhale, round. So you're matching your breath with your movement. Inhale. Arch your back, look up, and exhale, round in. From here, stay in your tabletop position, but then take both your hands and step at a big step in front of you. We're going to come into puppy pose. So from here, just going to drop your head down to the mat, keeping your elbows off the ground, keeping your hips over your knees, stretching back and opening up. Open all that side body, arm area, the chest area. Breathing here. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Let all that go. Come back up to all fours. And from here, we're going to go ahead and step forward into a low lunge. So bring your right foot forward. Left leg is behind you. And now you're in a low lunge. Look forward. Inhale and look forward. Exhale. Stay for the exhale. And then on inhale, tuck those back left toes. Bring your knee off the ground. Bring your left hand down to the ground. And your right arm, you're going to twist to the right. So your right arm's going to go up toward the sky. And you're going to twist your body to the right. Breathing here. And then from there, you're going to exhale and step back into downward facing dog. From here, this is your first down of the dog of the day. Go ahead and bend those knees, pedal them out. Take a few breaths here to really find yourself in this pose. When you feel like you're ready, you can settle back in. You can straighten out the legs if you like, or leave them bent. Really stretch through your arms, hips up toward the sky. Breathing. And now on an inhale, rock forward into plank. And exhale, lower down to the ground. Untuck your back toes. Plant your hands and inhale and rise up into whatever level of cobra you want. It can be a low cobra, medium, high, whatever feels best. Exhale, lower back down. Let's do 2 more of those. Inhale, rise up into cobra, any amount. Exhale, lower back down. Once more. Inhale, rise up into cobra. Exhale, lower back down. Tuck your back toes. Come back to your downward facing dog. Breathe here. And now look forward and step that left foot forward. And now we'll drop that back right knee. Untuck those toes. Inhale and look forward in your low lunge. Stay for the exhale. On the inhale, tuck your back right toes. Plant your right hand. Bring your right knee off of the ground, and now bring that left arm up overhead and twist to the left. Breathing here. From there, plant your hands and step back into downward facing dog. Again, you can pedal out the legs. You can have knees bent. You can have knees straight. You can have a wider dog on your mat. Your feet can be as wide as the mat. You can have them closer together. This is where you have to play around and find out what's best for you. This is your practice, so see what works best for you. Breathe here, stretching through your arms, through your legs, hips up toward the sky. Inhale and rock forward to plank. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Plant your hands and tuck your back toes and inhale and rise up into cobra. Exhale, lower down. Twice more. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, back down. Once more. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, lower down, tuck your back toes, and let's come back into downward facing dog. Take 3 deep breaths here, pedaling out your legs. Straighten out your legs when you're ready. Arms stretching out really strong and through your arms and your legs. Inhale on your downward facing dog. And exhale, rock forward into plank. Exhale, lower down to the ground. Inhale into cobra. And let's exhale and come back into downward facing dog. From here, we're going to look forward and step that right foot forward. Come on up into warrior 2. So you're going to have your heel to arch alignment. Bend deeply into that front leg. Arms out to your out to the sides and looking over that right hand. Breathe here. Exhale. Inhale and straighten that front leg. If you'd like to, you can shorten your stance a little bit with that, bringing that back foot in a little bit, and from there you're going to tip forward and come into triangle pose. So your right hand will come either down to a block, to your shin, or even to the floor, whatever feels best for you. Bring that left arm up overhead. And breathe here. Exhale. Inhale, come all the way back up. From here, we're going to pivot now. So both of our feet are turned out about a 45-degree angle. Got a wide stance here, and you're going to bend the knees and sink back a little bit here. So this is what is called temple pose. From here, you can move a little bit if you'd like. This is just going to help open up all of this area here. So all of our inner thigh, groin area for our peak pose today. So you can stay stationary, or if you like, I'm kind of just swaying back and forth here a little bit just to get a little movement and to open that up. Breathing there. And now from there, we're going to transition back into downward facing dog. So plant your hands back to downward dog. Stay here for 2 deep breaths in and out through the nose. Stretching through your arms, your legs, hips to the sky. From here, you're going to inhale and look forward and step that left foot forward. And now come up into warrior 2 on the other side. So heel to arch alignment again. Arms up, looking out over that left hand. And breathing here. Breathe in. And exhale. On the inhale, straighten that front leg. You can shorten that stance by bringing that back leg in just a little bit. Tilt forward, bring that that left arm down to your left leg, right arm up for triangle pose. So this left hand can be on your shin, a block, or even the ground. Spinning the chest open toward the side there, to your right side. Breathing here. And on the inhale, come all the way back up. And we'll go back into temple pose again. So go ahead and get a wider stance. Turn both of your feet out, your toes out to about a 45-degree angle. Bend your knees. Sink in here. And again, if you'd like to have a little bit of movement, I always find that helps me, but you might find being stationary is better. Breathing here. Just hoping to open everything up. And from there, let's go ahead and plant our hands and step back in a downward facing dog. Take 2 deep breaths here. Clear all that out. And from here, we're going to come down to the mat. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce this next pose. So you might want to watch first, and then you can actually we'll do a practice session. So I will show you really quick what we're going to do. This is called Malasana, or what is called yogic squat pose. So a blanket could come in handy here, or even a block if you find that you can't come down really low. And I'll show you the other modification of bending that low is just not going to work at all. So I'll show it to start with a nice modification for this. You can simply come out with your feet a little bit further apart than hip distance apart, and you can just sink back into a nice chair pose here. You can have your hands on your legs. That's perfectly fine. You can also turn your feet out slightly and do the same thing. So you could squat back into that chair as deep as you'd like, and you could stay right here. That's plenty for you, then that's a great place to be. If you're ready to go a little bit deeper, I'm going to go ahead and show it from the side. But when you're doing this, you're going to have your feet, I find it's easier for me to have my feet turned out slightly. You may find it's okay to have them straight out parallel, but play around with it. Wider definitely helps me too. So the tighter you are, the wider your feet should be. So from here, your feet are going to be turned out slightly. They're definitely more than hip distance apart. And from here, you're just going to squat down. And I've got a block here to catch me. So I've got it up on this. And you could even do it on the higher side if you'd like. So you could start here. And this is a great place to be. You can go down to the medium level. Also a great place to be. You can go on the lowest level. You could have a blanket underneath of your seat instead, so that brings you down even more. Or if you're really feeling it, and it's okay, and this is, most of you will probably not be able to get to this point, because in the Western world, we do not sit like this. So this is tough, but it's a great pose to do on a regular basis, and you'll start to see you can get lower. So we're going to practice together, so go ahead and pick your variation. If you want to do the block, if you want to do the kind of chair option with the blanket, or go for the full one, we'll go ahead and do that. So we'll go ahead and stand up into mountain pose. Breathing here. Exhale all the air out. Go ahead and separate your feet, whatever width you need. Turn the toes out if that works best for your body. And then if you're coming into just the chair version, that's fine. You can squat here. Come on down to whatever version you would like. So pick your version. I'll do it with the block to show. From here, you're going to take your elbows and push the knees away a bit. So you're really kind of opening all this up. This is a great pose to help with digestion also. So again, find what works for you. You can also lower that block if you find that. And over time, you will be able to go lower. And if it's not good for your knees, stay up. Or you can totally skip this pose. You never have to do a pose just because I call it out. So take a nice inhale there, exhale. And when you're ready, come on out of that pose and come right into a nice forward bend, standing forward bend. You will find with this pose, and so you're going to come up and just come into a forward bend. You will find with this pose over time that this will almost become, I don't want to say a resting pose, but almost, and it can be. I've actually found that now I can be in this pose for much longer because I've practiced so much. And again, this is just something that we're not used to doing here in the West, so it'll take some time. So congratulate yourself for at least trying it. All right, from here we're going to do one more little bit of work here, and then we're going to go into our cool down. So from here, after your forward bend, come on down to your sit, please. And we're going to do a boat pose. So some of you may find that boat pose for you is with your arms behind you and you just lift the two legs up. And this may be plenty. If you find that you're okay to go ahead and bring one arm out in front of you and the other arm, then this is where we're going for today, is boat pose. We're going for a V with our body. Chest is lifted up. Breathe here. Exhale, hug your legs in. We're going to do that twice more. So pick the version that works best for you. From here, legs up, or arms behind you. Your body's in a V. Your chest is lifting up. Breathe, breathe, breathe. I know that's hard. Breathe and exhale. Hug your knees in. If you've got one more in you, let's go for it. Legs up, arms out, V, chest is up. Breathing here. One more breath. And exhale, let that go and hug it all in. actually harder to do that while you're also talking. So, all right, from here, this is where I think the strap might be handy, and also a blanket. So since I was showing earlier with the blanket, I'm going to show it again. So if you'd like to have a blanket to sit up on, we're going to do a seated forward fold. And again, you're going to want to be up on that blanket, but on the edge of the blanket. You don't want to be way back here because that will still kind of round you in. We're looking to tilt that pelvis forward. So stretch your legs out in front of you. You want your pelvis to tilt forward. We're not trying to do this. So if you are really rounding your back, a blanket or a stack of blankets is really going to help. I'll just show you the difference. So you can see right here where I'm at. But if I fold this blanket up another one, that lifts my seat up even more and really helps me tilt forward. So find what works for you. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Grab your strap if you have really tight hamstrings. Inhale and get tall. You can stay right here and that's perfectly fine. If you'd like, take that strap around your toes. Inhale, get tall. And exhale, pull yourself in. The wider your feet are, the easier this will be. The closer they are together, the harder it will be. So the strap is a great tool. I'm going to stop you calling it a prop because I think that some people think that means they can't do yoga. It's a tool. It's a tool you should definitely use. So take that strap, grab your feet, and pull yourself toward. So you'll see the difference of if I don't have a strap and I'm really tight and rounded, it might be harder for me to go forward. But with this just helps you come in a little bit closer. So use the strap. It's a wonderful tool. Breathe here. If you don't need the strap, obviously you can just come forward any amount. And let's come back up. Let the strap, move the blanket, and now we'll come down to lie on our back. And we'll go into a bridge pose. So if you know what that is, go ahead and go into it. Otherwise, I'll guide you through it. You're going to have your soles of your feet on the ground, about hip distance apart. Hands down next to you on the mat by your sides. And inhale and lift your hips up off the ground. Roll those shoulders back and underneath of you, looking up toward the sky. Keeping your knees from splaying out. You want them to be pointed straight up. So you don't want them to splay out or in. Breathing here. And exhale, let that go. Come back down. From here, go ahead and hug both of your knees into your chest. And now stretch that left leg out straight on the mat. And go ahead and hug that right knee in. And from here, we're just going to do a supine twist. So twist, bring that leg, cross that right leg over to the left. Now your hips will be stacked and you're in a twist. Bring that right arm out to the right and look over your right shoulder. Breathing here and really feeling that everything go in your lower back. Twists are just a nice way to end a class, to let everything go. Inhale, come all the way back up. Hug both your knees back into your chest. And from here, let that right leg go straight on the mat. Hug your left knee in. From there, go ahead and take that left knee and cross it over your body to the right. Your knee doesn't have to come down to the ground. You might find that it's actually pretty hard for most people because you want to keep this left shoulder down on the ground as much as possible. So the leg may come up more. Stretch that left arm out to the left and look over that left shoulder. Breathing there. Just find that nice lower back release. And inhale and come back up. Hug your knees in your chest one more time. And from there, go ahead and let everything go onto the mat. And come into your final Shavasana. So let your arms go, your legs go, your head go, your neck, your back. Let everything just sink into the mat. Let gravity do its job and just feel the heaviness of this pose as you sink into Shavasana. Stay here and breathe in and out through the nose at your own pace. We've got plenty of time, so don't worry. I'll let you know when the time is up. I'm going to give you some quiet time here, though, but think about all you've done in this class and let this class just become part of you. while you're in Shavasana. Let your feet splay out, your hands, just don't hold any tension anywhere, let it all just go. If you have an eye covering, cover your eyes. If you have a dog licking your face right now, hey, that's, it's just part of yoga, right? If you have yoga with pets, or a cat, or whatever you may have, or a child even. Try to just sink into your Shavasana the best that you can, regardless of what distractions you may have going on around you. From here, you're welcome to stay in Shavasana for as long as you like. So if you want to stay there longer, stay there and ignore what I'm saying. Otherwise, hug both your knees into your chest, roll over to one side, pause for a moment. Bring yourself back up with your arms, come back up to a nice seated position, sitting up on the blanket if you like, whatever you need for right now. And for the last minute or so, I just wanted to briefly introduce the idea of meditation. So we've kind of already had a little bite-sized pieces of this, but I wanted to introduce what is meditation, because a lot of people are, well, I can't do that, I don't want to try it, and it's about controlling my mind, and I get rid of my thoughts, and that's not true. So meditation is simply being the observer of your thoughts and noticing your thoughts and not getting caught up in your thoughts. You're going to have thoughts. The idea is not to get rid of your thoughts. And I will tell you a personal story for myself. That's what I thought it was initially when I first started doing it. So I would get so frustrated. I would sit down, and 30 seconds into it, I'm thinking. And I get mad at myself. And so by the end of the session, I'm like, I didn't even have I maybe had 10 seconds where I wasn't having a thought. And so I thought I was doing it all wrong. And that's actually not true. What you want to do with meditation, what it's really about, is helping you to turn off the outside world for just a little bit, come into just yourself, be with yourself and your thoughts and your breath, and to observe your thoughts as they come and as they go. And the idea is to notice when a thought comes in and name that. Okay, that's a thought, and then to let it go and not get caught up in that story and go back to whatever you're focusing on. There's lots of different focuses for meditation. There's breath, there's mantras, there's a lot of things, visualization. There's a lot of different things people can focus on in meditation. But the idea is when the next thought comes in, as soon as you notice it, to let it go and observe, or just observe it and watch it go, come and go. So that's just a quick little introduction to what meditation is. We're going to dive a little deeper into meditation over the next several classes. We'll do shorter ones, to start with, and then we'll work ourselves up. But it's not about how long you do it or how long you keep your thoughts at bay, because as soon as you say don't have any thoughts, what happens? You have a million thoughts. It's just trying to notice them and then do your best to let them go. And I will tell you, as a seasoned meditator, I've been meditating for several years now, in the last 3 years on a very regular basis, and I still have mornings or days that it is so hard for me to focus. My mind is thinking about 500 things, and that's okay. It's all part of the process. It is a practice, just like yoga. It's all a practice. Get better with it with time. So thank you for joining me for this class. I hope it was helpful. Namaste.